hello, go grab your coffee or your tea. Come on back. I am going to fill you in a little more detail than I have in the past on what astrological things are going to be going on and kind of what to expect for the month of March. Go grab your tea and I will see you back in a moment. All right, welcome back. I am going to go ahead and set up the paranormal flashlight. Spirit, can I feel you take control of it? All right. Whoa, it's that. It is bright. It just kind of hits the screen just right. That makes it very bright. All right, Spirit, can you give me a wink or a blink on that? Let me know if I have it adjusted correctly for you. All right, I think I felt them take control of the light. I'm going to go ahead and carry on. All right. What we've got going on, what already started on the 1st, Venus started stationing retrograde. We have a couple of retrogrades that are going to happen in the month of March. So I mentioned that the energy is going to feel a little dense, there it goes back there, a little dense, a little heavy. With Venus stationing retrograde, Venus is, remember, she's a goddess of love. So this is going to have anything to do with relationships. All right, Spirit, you're playing with my nose. Anything to do with relationships, not just love and romance, but your family relationships, connections that way too. So expect there to be a little dense energy around connections with other people, whether they are romantic, whatever the connection is. If it's somebody in your life, and that's a relationship, you could be experiencing some of this dense energy. Let's see. Today is the 3rd. It is my mother's heavenly birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. We have Mercury, and it is actually in Aries. And Mercury in Aries makes for, they're both fire signs, and it kind of can get, thank you, Spirit, it can get a little heated. So road rage is kind of a thing still. And try not to get tangled up in that as best you can. However, Mercury is not retrograde yet. It is getting ready to go retrograde. So some of you are already feeling that energy of Mercury retrograde. If Mercury is one of your ruling planets, the shadow phase, which is just about a week and a half to 2 weeks before it goes retrograde, you will begin to feel that energy. If Mercury is your ruling planet, you will feel that. If Venus is one of your ruling planets, you will feel that. So expect that. And of course, Mercury has everything to do with communications, wiring. It is not a good time to start anything. No major purchases right now. Don't sign any contracts unless you've already had it in play. So kind of hold back from doing that a little bit too. We also have a lunar eclipse happening in Virgo on the 14th. So anytime we have eclipses, we have other weather incidences that happen too. There can be earthquakes. Thank you, Spirit. Anything that goes along with earthquakes, for example, tidal waves, water issues, storms. We're also going to see some fires still, with that Aries being so prominent right now. Mercury won't go retrograde until the 15th, and then we have about a 2-week period there that it's going to kind of stay dense, that heavy feeling. You can also be accident prone through this time period too. So if you're doing dishes, be careful you don't cut yourself, break a glass, knives. Take your time doing anything. Thank you, Spirit, on the light. Don't get up on chairs and try to clean the cupboards out. do it safely. Venus retrograde goes into Pisces on the 27th. And Pisces is, again, takes us back to relationships. When planets go into Pisces, we have a tendency to be more emotional also. So you could just get on a crying jag, or you just could get on an explosive jag and just kind of really throw a tizzy fit. Okay, so we don't want to do that. That's not a high vibrational frequency. We need to keep our thoughts on, thank you, Spirit, on pleasant things. Keep our vibe high through this time. Think happy things. Whatever makes you smile is where you want to take your thoughts to. And then we have a solar eclipse on the 29th. So there are two eclipses taking place. They're not major. However, they have a lot to do with the weather and everything that is happening around us. Let's see, I've got my notes here in front of me, and I'm kind of sloppy. That lunar eclipse on the 14th, I did believe that is also the full moon. And it is going to be a blood red full moon. So it's kind of letting us know that warring energy is there. However, some people, depending on your sign, that time period is a very good time to declutter, to kind of go through those drawers and if you haven't used it in 6 months, get rid of it. I have an expression, every day throw something away. I see so many of you, when I've come to your homes, you have little dishes, and I have them here, and I need to go through mine also, and I do on a constantly. Tables that have a lot of clutter, corners that have clutter, that's where negative energy accumulates first. Thank you, Spirit, on the light. So keep those little nooks and crannies clean, and it's an excellent time to go ahead and do that because it's in Virgo. Anything that takes place in the sign of Virgo is organizing, meticulous. You want things to be neat. You want things to be orderly. So that's kind of what we have coming. I am going to go ahead and pull some cards to see if any of that gives me any validating energies here in the cards. By the way, hit that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And share this with your friends. All right, Spirit, can I get a few more jumpers, please? As you can see, I only take jumpers from the deck. That one wanted out, and we're going to go ahead and something told me it needed to come out. All right. We have the Seven of Cups here. Yeah, it could feel a little chaotic, to say the least, with all this energy swirling around. It's easy to get confused. It's easy to keep repeating yourself. Thank you, Spirit, on the light. I have a tendency to do that because I talk to so many people, and I give them so much of my insights that I don't know, can't remember who I told. Am I repeating this to you? Am I just repeating it to myself? So could be quite a bit of confusion in this time frame. So that was a 7. We have an 8 of Wands. Yes, Wands is a fire sign, absolutely. Some of you, with the retrograde, some of you could be having a past connection resurfacing. Maybe somebody that you dated, could be an ex, could be somebody you just haven't seen in a very, very long time, but somebody from your past could come back. That 8 is telling me that that's kind of a repeating cycle. And it is, because it happens a couple times a year when these planets go into these positions. That 8 is also letting me know that you're going to find some inspiration out of this. You're not going to let it overwhelm you and take you over, maybe for a minute. But now that you know it's happening and what's coming, you can work with the energies instead of just trying to hold them back. And it's okay. I know what's coming. We're gonna tuck and roll and go with it. We had a 7. We had an 8. Now we have a 9. 9 of Cups. You've got some abundance that is beginning to happen for a lot of you. Financially, there is improvements coming for a lot of the signs. Off the top of my head, I have Virgo, Scorpio, Leo, Gemini. You guys are going to see some abundance financially. It's not just like it's going to pop out of the sky. It might be something you've been working at, whether it's a little hobby kind of thing you're doing and it's going to start making you some money, or whether it is a little bit of chunky money, some kind of lucky money that you didn't expect. Tax rebate, maybe you overpaid something and you get that refund check back. We also have the 2 of Swords, and this is a very good time to cut some things out of your life. You might have a tendency to want to overeat right now with this energy being dense. So it would be a very good time to try to cut some bad things out of your diet. Many of you are eliminating carbohydrates, kind of going with a keto kind of diet, and I highly recommend it. The more flour you cut out of your diet, the better you will feel. I was raised in a traditional Italian household, a little Native American on the weekends with my real dad. But for me to learn to live without pasta, without a garlic bread, without that good panini bread, I have no arthritis in my hands. I have no aches and pains, because that's where that not necessarily the gluten, but the carbohydrates themselves from the flour kind of affect us in the joints, because it allows for inflammation. So it's a good time to try to start cutting some of that back. And we have the big old transformation card here, the Death card. This is a great time for a lot of you to reinvent yourself. And that's exactly what retrogrades are for, to reinvent, to reinvestigate, to renew, to review, anything with an R. So this is a good time for you to work on yourself. I think you felt pretty desperate. Like, what's my purpose here? What's my whole goal here? Why am I here? And this time frame is such a great time to reinvent yourself, because when we come out the other side, and in just a few weeks, it's not forever, you are going to feel absolutely amazed and transformed, because the energy you're releasing will go with the energy as it goes. And we have the Star card. Absolutely about healing and abundance. I did mention financial abundance coming for some people, not for everybody, and not just for the signs that I mentioned. You, depending on where your ruling planets are, what your natal chart placements are, depends on a lot of those little things. But a lot of you are going to find abundance. Now, some of you are going to be finding it in family. Because another one of those RE words that goes along with the retrogrades is reunion. You may be coming back with family, back in touch with family. That star is also about working on your own personal healing. And you know, you hear me say that all the time. Work on your healing. Just try to become a better person. Do something nice for somebody every day. Not just people in your household, outside of your household. Open a door for somebody. The other day, the only thing I could do is I helped a little old lady carry a couple of packages out of the post office because she had her arms full. Whatever you can do to lighten somebody's burden is why we are here. And if my videos help lighten your burden by educating you a little bit, bringing you the information that a lot of this was kept secret for centuries, because some of those older fellas back in biblical times wanted to control us. So they added and omitted stuff to that big black book in order for us to kind of stay in line. You know, we are seeing that happen again on the political front. Control with all kinds of things, medication, food. We don't get a lot of choice, but we are taking that control back as a collective. It's got nothing to do with a red side or blue side. All right. We do have the King of Wands. That is, again, that is telling me that this is a time when tempers could flare. You could get into an argument, a dispute. That king usually says it's my way or the highway. That was, I don't want to like to make the comparison, but it's kind of like what Trump said to Zelensky. We can't do it that way. I don't feel like you're being grateful or thankful for what we have done. They're going to come back to terms on that. They're going to come back to terms on that. We have the Strength card. Yeah, we are going to need to muster a little bit of strength through this time. No big deal. It's not like it's going to be World War III by any means. However, that might be out on the future there. We may not be involved in it, but it very well could happen. It is kind of in the cards to see a world conflict come. So that's where we need strength. We need to stay neutral. We need to take control of our own personal activities. Don't be touched off by somebody else's road rage if they're shaking a fist or a couple happy fingers at you. Don't buy into it. Just blow it off and let it go. I once had a lady, I accidentally cut her off finding a parking spot. And she got out of the car and came over and was just really doing a Karen number on me, just screaming at me about she was waiting for that spot before I got there, and with the traffic, I did not see her, pulled into the spot, there I was, and the only thing I could say, and you know what, I used to be pretty physical. I'd have knocked the bitch out, honest. Some of you know me, know it to be truth. All I could do is, now that I've taken on a more positive mindset, as I looked at her and I said, do you realize how attractive you look right now? Because her face was all scrunched up. Typical Karen mode where everybody gets mad. And she was so put back by that she had no comeback, and she just walked away. All right. Oh, and last but not least, we have the Ten of Wands. Yes, we are wrapping up a lot of cycles, a lot of old burdens that weren't ours to carry. We can set those aside now. Once this energy goes through, let's see, this is the beginning of March. By April the 15th, we should, right about in there, tax time, we should be past a lot of this heavy energy. And you know what? It's spring. Who cares? Go take your shoes off and get grounded in the grass. Get that energy burn off one way or another. All right, you guys, there you have it. I hope that gives you some insight on what to expect. And you know, I never leave you that I don't bless you with love and light. See you soon.